The demographics of Sudan include the Sudanese people and their characteristics. Sudan, including population density, ethnicity, education level, health, economic status, religious affiliations, and other aspects of the population. In Sudan's 1993 census, the population was calculated at 30 million. No comprehensive census has been carried out since that time due to the Second Sudanese Civil War. Estimates of Sudan, including the population of South Sudan, ranged from 37 million is growing rapidly and ranges from 6 to 7 million, including around 2 million displaced persons from the southern war zone, as well as western and eastern drought-affected areas. The majority of the population of Sudan is a result of intermarriage between the indigenous Nubian inhabitants of the Nile Valley and descendants of migrants from the Arabian Peninsula and mostly North Africa. Due to the process of Arabization common throughout the rest of the Arab world, today Arab culture predominates in Sudan. The majority of ethnic groups of Sudan fall under Arabs, and the minority being African ethnic groups such as Nubians, Beja, Fur, Nuba, and Falatha. When counted as one people, Sudanese Arabs are by far the largest ethnic group in Sudan. However, African ethnic groups are a large minority if counted as one group. They are almost entirely Muslim, while the majority speak Sudanese Arabic. Some other Arab tribes speak different Arabic dialects like Awadia and Fadnir, and Bani Arak tribes, who speak Najdi Arabic, Bani Hassan, Al-Ashraf, Kinana and Rishaida, who speak Hijazi Arabic. In addition, Arab tribes like the Bagara and other Darfurians, both who speak Chadian Arabic. Sudanese Arabs of northern and eastern parts descend primarily from migrants from the Arabian Peninsula and some of the pre-existing indigenous populations of Sudan, most predominantly the Nubian people, who also share a common history with Egypt. Additionally, a few pre-Islamic Arabian tribes existed in Sudan from earlier migrations into the region from Western Arabia, although most Arabs in Sudan are dated from migrations after the 12th century. The vast majority of Arab tribes in Sudan migrated into the Sudan in the 12th century, intermarried with the indigenous African populations and introduced Islam. Achieving good counts of the population is difficult in Sudan, because conducting a census has been difficult due to various conflicts and wars in the southern, eastern and western regions of Sudan over the past few decades. The government of South Sudan has in the past accused Sudan of deliberately manipulating the census in oil-rich regions such as the Abai district, on the border between Sudan and South Sudan. The population count is a determining factor for the share of wealth and power each part of Sudan receives after the secession of South Sudan. Another complication is the southern Sudanese refugees present in the north, whose citizenship in Sudan after the secession of South Sudan is now in question. 250,000 refugees from Syria live in Sudan. The vital statistics below include South Sudan. The most widely spoken languages in Sudan are: before 2005, only Arabic was the official language. In the 2005 constitution, Sudan's official languages became Arabic and English. Article 8, the working constitution of the post-2019 revolution transitional period specifies no national language. 97% of the population adheres to Islam, with the overwhelming majority being adherents of the Sunni Sufi branch and the Maliki school of Islamic jurisprudence. The remainder of the population follows either animist and indigenous beliefs or Christianity, especially in Khartoum and in southern regions of the country bordering South Sudan. Christians in Sudan, which are refugees or immigrants from the south, belong to various churches, including the Roman Catholic Church, small Melkite and Maronite communities in the north, as well as Anglicans followers in the Episcopal Church of Sudan and the recently formed Reformed Episcopal Church. There are significant but long-established groups of Coptic Orthodox and Greek Orthodox Christians in Khartoum and other northern cities. There are also Ethiopian and Eritrean Orthodox communities in Khartoum and eastern Sudan, largely made up of refugees and migrants from the past few decades. Other Christian groups with smaller followings in the country include the Africa Inland Church, the Armenian Apostolic Church, the Sudan Church of Christ, the Sudan Interior Church, Jehovah's Witnesses, the Sudan Pentecostal Church, the Sudan Evangelical Presbyterian Church. Religious identity plays a role in the country's political divisions. Northern and Western Muslims have dominated the country's political and economic system since independence. The NCP draws much of its support from Islamists, Salafis, Wahhabis and other conservative Arab Muslims in the north. The Amar party has traditionally attracted Arab followers of the Ansar sect of Sufism as well.